What is up, you guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about the 2020 Hyundai Palisade. And just has Hyundai really set the bar with this SUV? Now this Palisade compares to something like the very similar Kia Telluride and Toyota Highlander. But I think we can all agree that Hyundai has really had a great success recently in the automotive industry. But anyways, that was just my little rundown of Hyundai and their success recently. But let's just dive into the video by first talking about the trim levels that we have with this Palisade for 2020. So starting off is the base trim SC, which starts at $31,975. Then we have the mid-range SEL trim level, which starts at $33,925. And then finally, the top-of-the-line limited trim level, which tops out at $45,125. So with only 3 trim levels on this 2020 Palisade, Hyundai has really made it simple and easy for consumers to find what they want. Because sometimes more isn't always better, sometimes simpler is better. And this Palisade certainly shows that. Alright, so starting off in the front of this 2020 Hyundai Palisade, you can see we have a very nice, interesting looking front grille. Honestly, looks like it was ripped out from a Genesis. It is that nice. This is the limited trim level, so this is the grille that we find on this particular trim level. But the other 2 trims will have a different looking grille, as you can see right here. Very smart of Hyundai to totally revamp the front grille for the top of the line trim level. That way everyone can tell that you have the limited. So when it comes to the headlights, the Palisade has an interesting setup. That first light on top are the turn signals, then the middle one is going to be your daytime running lights, and your low/high beams are at the bottom. Also for the headlights, they are halogen headlights. They are not fully LED. However, the good news is, if you get the top of the line trim level, which is the limited, you will get fully LED headlights. And then under the main grille, you will find another chrome finish, which is also a pretty nice touch. Now looking at the side of this 2020 Palisade, you can see right away that this has a more boxy SUV look. It's very truck-like. It's almost like an illusion that makes it look like a full-size SUV, but really this is a mid-size. So this would compare with something like the Honda Pilots, for example. And then looking at the mirrors, they are power folding and heated across every trim level of this Palisade. And also, built-in LED turn signals are standard on every trim level except the base SE. And that also includes blind spot monitoring on every trim level except the base SE once again. Now moving down to the wheels, they are 20-inch alloy wheels, but this is only if you get the SEL convenience package. Otherwise, the SE and SEL trim levels would come with 18 inchers. And then the limited, being the highest trim level, comes with 20 inchers. So overall, you have 4 different options for the wheels on this 2020 Palisade. Now as far as the transmission is concerned, these wheels are connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission across all the trim levels. And then moving over to the rear of this Palisade, it has a more conservative, boxy SUV look compared to that striking, really in-your-face front grille or front fascia. Then as you can see, it has the Palisade badging, which obviously spells out Palisade on the tailgate. Now to open the tailgate, it does include hands-free power lifting as an option on the SEL trim level and standard on the limited trim level. But once you do open the tailgate, with the third row seats up, you will find 18 cubic feet of space. But when you fold the third row seats down, that will expand to 46 cubic feet of space. So that's actually a tad more space than the Honda Pilot I reviewed. So this beats the Pilot by about 1 or 2 extra cubic feet of space. Alright, so now let's talk about our engine on this 2020 Palisade. And that engine is a 3.8 liter V6, which will produce 291 horsepower with 262 pound-feet of torque. Unfortunately, I was unable to find any information on the 0 to 60 of this Palisade, but I can guarantee you that you will have plenty of passing power with that V6 engine. Now as for MPGs, we're talking about 19 in the city, 24 on the highway, and 21 combined. And as for towing capacity, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds. Now moving into the interior of this 2020 Palisade, I think this is the area that the Palisade really shines the most in. And it doesn't really look like anything else I've seen from Hyundai. In fact, I would even go far to say that this is almost on level with a Genesis, which is their luxury brand. But anyways, you can see that we have push button start. Again, this is the limited trim level, so push button start is only available on the SEL and limited trim levels. So that means the base trim SE will come with a traditional key ignition system. And then looking at your infotainment setup, again, this being the limited trim level, this has the largest display out of all of them. This is a 10.25 inch display. So on this limited trim level, you get this large display, but on the lower trim levels, you get a smaller 8-inch display. And I usually never bring up the steering wheel in these videos, but I will say that this steering wheel is electric power assisted. And then as you move down, you can see you have a nice little storage area for your phone or something. But what's cool about it is that it is wireless charging. So you can wirelessly charge your phone by placing it in that little storage area, which is pretty neat. So this feature is only optional on the SEL, and it's standard on the top of the line limited trim level. So you won't find this feature in the base SE trim level. And under the center console is actually another storage area, which also includes a 12-volt outlet and a USB port. And you can see that we have an electronic gear shifter for this Palisade rather than a traditional one. Now when you pop that into reverse, this being the limited trim level, you will find a 360 camera system. However, the other trim levels do not have this feature, but they do have the active trajectory with a normal backup camera. And rear parking sensors are also included across all the trim levels. And only exclusive to the limited, you also have front parking sensors. But now let's talk about our seats. So the driver's seat is a manual seat if you go for the base SE. Then if you go for the SEL trim level and up, you will have power seats, but only exclusive to the limited trim level, you get 2 extra ways of lumbar support. However, you do get 8-way power adjusting seats with 2-way lumbar support on the SEL trim level. And then as for the passenger seat, it is also 8-way power adjusting, which is optional on the SEL trim level and is standard on the limited trim level. So with that being said, I think that pretty much sums up the interior of this 2020 Hyundai Palisade Limited. Now last but not least, let's mention our key fob for this 2020 Palisade. So this is their key fob with their smart entry system technology as well as their remote start system. However, you're not going to find any of this on the base SE trim level. But with that being said, I think that pretty much sums up this 2020 Hyundai Palisade Limited. So really, the Palisade is really a standout vehicle from other Hyundai products. So overall, Hyundai has really put themselves on the map of this segment with this Palisade. And you just get a lot of value for the money. And that's what pretty much any Hyundai. So this is really one beast of an SUV that they have made. And it really is something you should consider if you're looking for a mid-size SUV of this segment. So again, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a like. Do not hesitate to leave a comment because I'll be happy to reply to any comments that you might have. If you want more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comments below because I will definitely do more videos like this. But more importantly, what do you guys think of this 2020 Hyundai Palisade? Have they really brought their A game here to battle the competition? But on a last note, thanks for watching.